Alright, so I'm going to talk about my GLOCK 19X setup. This is a gun that I use for off-duty. This is my concealed carry gun. This is one of my favorite guns that I own. On the top, I have a Aimpoint ACRO P-2 mounted on it. But the way that it's mounted is called a B&T Cut. So what they do is they move the rear sight forward so that they can get a deeper cut to place the dot so that you have a co-witness with regular height sights. All right, so they move it back, they cut it in. They can't do it here because then they will be messing with the trigger apparatus or the firing pin and whatnot. So they move it back and then they bring this forward so that, I don't know if you can see, you have a co-witness with the irons there. That's the rear sight there and the front sight is there, but this is a little darker, but you have a co-witness there. So this is good for concealed carry, because if you have suppressor height sights, which is what most pistols that get optics placed on them, if you have any sort of backup sights, any sort of rear and front sight, those sights are probably going to be suppressor height sights. Now, when you do that, the only thing is that pretty much you have this big fin in the front. I mean, it's not that bad. I mean, it's just probably about that tall. But you have a fin in the front, then you have a higher sight in the back. But drawing out from concealed, a lot of times that fin will snag on your shirt, on your coat, whatever you might have. So I like having these lower, just regular height sights on there. Some guys just take their sights off, you know, so, but I like to have mine on because you never know. We were having qualifications the other day for my unit, and there was a guy out there who was pretty much trying to get on the unit. He had an Aimpoint ACRO and his was acting up, not sure why, but his dot was showing up, disappearing, and kept doing that. We put new batteries in there and then tighten it down real tight, and which is really not the best thing to do, because one thing that's not too good is that the Aimpoint, they put a polymer, like a plastic battery cap on here. So I mean, that's not horrible, but it's not the best thing when you're like really trying to cinch that thing down to get a battery in there in the right place. So needless to say, we switched out batteries. We did that for a couple times, and then all of a sudden it sort of kind of started working. He started doing the qualifications. The optic went out on him. He had to just go ahead and use his iron sights there, but because he had his iron sights, he was able to use it, and he, despite all odds, passed the qualification. So that's a great pivot on him. So what else do I have going on here? On the left side, I put some silicone carbide because that is where I like to have my thumb rest to help mitigate recoil, right? So when I have a good grip on there, my thumb is here so that I can help draw down that recoil. So whenever the gun is jumping, I can help push that down with that, you know. Some guys put gas pedals on their guns so that they have some sort of gas pedal here to put their thumb on. The guy on my unit did that. His gun started malfunctioning, right? It's a Glock for a reason. Don't mess it up. Keep it standard. Dudes like to trick out their Glocks and whatnot. I say keep your Glock standard, man. That's how it should be. It's Glock perfection for a reason. All right, what else do I have going on in here? TLR1HL, which is a good light. It's not my favorite light, but it's a decent light. Works with a lot of my holsters and is pretty reliable as far as I can tell. Does what it's supposed to do. It's a light. It lights, all right? Then on the grip, so thought about putting some silicone carbide on there. However, when concealed carrying, that silicone carbide is like having sandpaper rubbing against your skin, which is not good. It's very abrasive for a reason, so you got that good grip. So what I did here was I put some GOON tape on here, but GOON tape is not very good tape. Some guys swear by it. Goon tape is really just fabric hockey tape. But for me, from my perspective on it, like my hands are not very clammy. And so, matter of fact, my hands are probably very dry just from hard work and whatnot. But anyway, so Goon tape, having that on there made the grip very slick. So whenever I went to go and purchase my firearm, draw it out of the holster or concealed carry, I was pretty much like, it felt like I was about to slip off of it, which is something that I do not like at all, because having a good grip is a huge part of shooting well. So have the Goon tape there. It adds kind of a bit of a plushness to the grip, kind of makes it a little wider for my hands. I have some bigger hands, so that's good there. And then I put some of the, what is it, Howies Pro Hockey Tape, I believe. I put some Howies Pro Hockey Tape on there, and I placed that on top of the Goon tape, right? Which has been very good, because this Howies Pro Hockey Tape has a sort of like silicone texture to it. So it's kind of sticky when you go to draw it, which helps for that grip. And then having that silicone carbide there, I'm good to go. And then I put a large back strap on there. At first I used to not like the dovetail on the back, but you know what? I've come to actually like that, because a lot of times with Glocks I am getting those cuts here, but using this kind of helps with, actually takes that away, honestly, and it's not too bad. I put the large one on there and it's good. Very simple setup, but a very reliable setup, and that's why I carry it. You know, it's not very, I mean, I think it's pretty, but you know, it's not like, oh, this is like some Gucci stuff. This is a basic Glock, man, with a good optic, a good light, and a little grip mod to it. But yeah, so I would say the thing that I really like about this gun is that it has that full-size grip, shorter barrel, but I like that I have that acro in there with the B&T Cut. And I actually went in and got my Glock 21, which is a 45 ACP full-size Glock. I just dropped that off to get that milled for an acro with the B&T Cut as well. I will have to say that's probably my favorite handgun, that Glock 21. But honestly, these two are kind of tied for that. Glock 21 is just a little thicker, which I do like, but this is my go-to. So yeah, just want to share that with you guys. God bless. Read the book of Psalms if you need a song to hear in your heart, right? So take it easy and stay tuned. This is Diligence.